Hey guys, sorry, long time no talk, long time no video, long time no see. It's been pretty crazy, but there is something I really wanted to talk about. It's something I've wanted to talk about for not even just a couple months, but probably a year now. I wanted to talk about the decline of Sonic the Hedgehog video games and the quality, and as you couldn't tell, the title of this video says exactly what I'm going to be talking about. Basically, if the 25th anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog game, which is supposed to come out next year, obviously 2016 being Sonic the Hedgehog's 25th anniversary, if that game is bad, if it is not good quality, if it is unplayable, Sonic the Hedgehog as we know it, I mean, I think I'm going to personally be done, and I'll kind of explain to you why I think that. This all actually ties into why I'm going to be changing my channel a bit and going to be transitioning into some new things. But anyway, let's kind of look into why Sonic the Hedgehog will fail if the 25th anniversary game is not good. Now, for some of you guys who don't know me very well, maybe I posted this on the Sonic the Hedgehog group on Facebook, and maybe you've never seen my channel, maybe you've never seen a lot of my Amy Rose cosplays, or you don't really know how big of a fan I am. I'm a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I have been since I was 4 or 5 years old. I had a Sega Genesis over having any of the Nintendo systems, so obviously I grew up on all the Sonic the Hedgehog games, and I've been a really die-hard fan. I've been a very understanding fan, but there all comes a point where I can't sit here on my channel and lie to you about how great the Sonic the Hedgehog games are right now. So let's look back into the past of Sonic the Hedgehog. So early 90s, specifically 1991, when the first Sonic the Hedgehog game came out, definitely gave Mario a run for his money, and people everywhere just loved Sonic's speed and his attitude, his personality, his kind of cutting edge look. So Sonic the Hedgehog in 1991 was a really huge deal, and people loved the game. It was a great game. It was high quality. And of course the games that came after that, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Sonic & Knuckles, and Sonic 3 for the Genesis, obviously were all really great games. For about the first 4 or 5 years of Sonic the Hedgehog being a video game series was fantastic. And then the late 90s hits, we could say just approximately like 1995 to 1999. The late 90s were a little more rough for the Sonic series, being that Sonic R came out, and while I find it a really fun and enjoyable game, and I could kick almost anyone's butt at it, that game was really bad, deemed to a lot of people. It did not even age well with a lot of people, so generally Sonic the Hedgehog fans say that Sonic R's game is bad. Same thing with Sonic 3D Blast. I absolutely hate Sonic 3D Blast. I think it's a horrible game. Even now it's a horrible game. Back then it was a horrible game. It was one of the ones I never put in my system as a kid. Not to mention all the other random bad Sonic games in the later 90s. Sonic Labyrinth, Knuckles Chaotix, and everyone has their own opinions on what is a good Sonic game and what's a bad Sonic game, but just in general, these games were deemed bad to most Sonic fans and still are today. So the late 90s was kind of rough for Sonic the Hedgehog. And then you come upon late 1999, and of course rolling into 2000 and 2001 with the Sonic Adventure series, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. Sonic Adventure 2 being Sonic the Hedgehog's 10th anniversary game. This was a really high time for Sonic the Hedgehog. These games were absolutely great. They were great then, and I personally think they both aged fairly well. Of course, for a couple years afterwards, just in general, the early 2000s had pretty good Sonic games. I mean, we got Sonic Heroes, which is a fantastic game, Sonic Riders, Shadow the Hedgehog, which is probably one of the most debatable games on whether or not it actually is good or bad. I think it's a fantastic game. I think the story is great. I think the controls are fine. Those are all deemed relatively great games and very well accepted games by Sonic fans then and Sonic fans now. So after the rough patch, that was the late 90s, the early 2000s kind of really picked up for the Sonic series. But then 2006 hits, and we all know where this is going. 2006, which was the 15th anniversary game for Sonic the Hedgehog. It's simply just being called Sonic the Hedgehog, and then everyone calls it 2006 afterwards for the Xbox and PlayStation 3. This game was definitely unfinished, definitely rushed, very glitchy, not very fun at all. The level designs were just stupid, annoying, hard to get through. The story, not that great. Hated the ending. So in general, that was a huge dip for the Sonic the Hedgehog as a franchise. So and then after that, it didn't get much better. I mean, we got Sonic and the Secret Rings in 2007. Shortly after, we got Sonic Unleashed, and we got Sonic and the Black Knight. Just not very good quality games. And again, even now, these games are deemed pretty bad by most Sonic fans. There are a few of them that like these games, but for the most part, and I may be generalizing, but the late 2000s was a bad time for Sonic the Hedgehog games. So after the late 2000s, which you kind of start seeing a pattern in the early 90s, great Sonic games, late 90s, not so much. Early 2000s, great games. Late 2000s, the quality of games started dropping and people didn't like them as much. Well, then, of course, in 2011, and everyone knows where I'm going with this, with the 20th anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog game being Sonic Generations, was a fantastic game. It controlled well, and while the story was short and while the game was short, it was very nostalgic and people really liked it. And we were liking where Sonic and Sega were going with the franchise at this point. In a way, it kind of made up for all the crappy games we had in the late 2000s. Once this game came out, we were hopeful again and looking up. The only bad thing is that after Sonic Generations was released, there were loads of more not so great Sonic the Hedgehog games, and this is only my opinion, but honestly, I think the last really great, really enjoyable main Sonic game that came out was Sonic Generations, and in the recording of this video, that came out like 4 years ago. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, people in college or high school who are freshmen got it. I got Sonic Generations as a freshman in high school. Now 4 years later, I'm graduated, and that was, the last great Sonic game that I remember. And then transitioning from 2013 with Lost World into 2014 with Sonic Boom, which we all know, Sonic Boom was very disappointing. The show is great, don't get me wrong. Actually, I like the characters, I like the designs. I'm not so sure what they did with Knuckles, but the quality of the games are just not great. The 3DS game is very boring. The levels aren't that interesting. I find myself playing 2 levels and putting it down and just wondering, do I really like this game? And same with the Wii U version, which I'm one of the few people that enjoyed the Wii U version a little better. Still just super disappointing, does not feel like a Sonic the Hedgehog game at all. So of course we're in this point in time where we're at the bottom right now as far as Sonic the Hedgehog games are concerned. While in the late 2000s with Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 and Sonic and the Secret Rings and a whole bunch of other bad Sonic games that we had to play in the late 2000s, while those were bad, our spirits were lifted with the 20th anniversary game, Sonic Generations, so we felt hope again. But right now, we're still at the bottom, and we're still we're in an era where the Sonic games are not good right now. And honestly, next year, I know Sonic Boom Fire and Ice is supposed to come out, which I'm not hopeful for at all. I will not be buying day one. Yes, I've heard that Sega says they're going to fix problems, but they've been saying that for probably a decade now. In fact, I read an article just a couple days ago saying that, and it said that Sega knows that they've been screwing up with Sonic the Hedgehog and that they're going to fix it, but at the same time, that's what they've been saying for a couple decades now, and it's just one of those things where I'm not going to trust what they say anymore. I'm going to wait for them to deliver the game, and if it's a great game, I'll finally start believing in them. 25th anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog game is supposed to come out next year in 2016. Even we haven't heard anything about it, so I'm not going off based off of anything that we've heard while this video is being recorded, but if it's not a great game, Sonic I think is done with, because we're already in a hole, and if we buy another game that is supposed to be the 25th anniversary game, that's supposed to be a great game, I I will just be so done with the series. As diehard as I am, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that the last couple Sonic games are great. I'm not going to do it. And to be honest, if they wanted an easy way to make the 25th anniversary game good, release Sonic Generations 2, but at the same time, that is such an easy cop-out. Like, just pretty much remaking Sonic Generations but adding more levels from past games, but with like the same controls. While that would be a really fun game, that would be a super easy, cheap way to impress the fans, and while I would buy that game and I would probably enjoy it, I still don't know if I would trust the rest of the Sonic games that are going to come out. There almost comes a point where I'm like, why am I running a channel about Sonic the Hedgehog games when the series is not doing so great so far? And this all ties into why I'm kind of transitioning things on my channel. I kind of want to do more with cosplay vlogs and convention vlogs, and also anime stuff, because let's face it, anime is actually doing really well in today's day and age. I mean, it costs a lot less to be a fan of anime. I mean, I do buy subscriptions to Crunchyroll, Hulu, Netflix to watch my anime, so I don't just stream it for free or illegally. And you know, I can pay $6.99 a month for Crunchyroll and have a whole library of great series and get them right after Japan. They get aired in Japan and have them translated subs and everything. And $7 a month, I can handle that. But when it comes to gaming, it costs so much more to be a gamer, and I feel like a lot more times I'm let down. For example, I mean, I bought Sonic Boom 3DS. That was $40. I bought it, and honestly, I was pretty disappointed in it. It just comes to a point where anime is doing so well. There's a lot of great shows out there. I'm not talking about a lot of that mainstream stuff you see all the time, like Attack on Titan and Free. While those are both very great shows, you gotta really dig into it more. I mean, Charlotte was really great last season. Himoto Imaru-chan was great last season. Food Wars, which was fantastic. I still need more of that, but there's just a whole lot of shows out there that you can watch for fairly inexpensively, and they're so enjoyable. So that's kind of why I want to transition the panel into more talking about anime, reviewing anime, and doing cosplay and convention stuff. Now, I know a lot of people, especially gamers, I actually ran into this a lot at MacFest, hate anime fans. I think anime is trash. Anime is trash, let me tell you that. But no, I just want to transition the channel anyway, and kind of just let me know your thoughts at the in the comment box down below. Tell me if you would like me to change my channel, if you think it's a bad idea, want me to stick to Sonic stuff. I will still talk about Sonic stuff every once in a while, but it won't be the core focus like it always has been for the last few years. But to be honest, I really don't care what you think in the comment box. I mean, you can put your thoughts out there, but I'm still going to transition my channel because I think it's what is going to be best, and I'm going to have a lot more great positive things to talk about. Anyway, guys, I want to end this video by thanking so many of my friends who come to conventions and say hi, and come to my panels and say hi. I really appreciate it. I actually had someone in Atlanta this year at AWA. He knew that I loved Amy, so he got me, get focused. He got me this like little cute Amy Rose thing from the dealer's room, like a little keychain, and it was just so nice, nice of those people. So I run into the coolest people at conventions. I hope to meet some of you guys. I usually go all the way from, like, I went to Indiana this year, I went all the way down to Florida, so I'll go to a lot of different places. And I just hope to see you guys there, and I'll keep doing convention vlogs. My next one is IchibanCon in Concord, North Carolina, so be prepared for videos on that. I'm gonna cosplay from Splatoon, like the main Inkling girl, like the amiibo, so I'm so excited for that. So guys, let me know what you think about my theory about the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise currently in the comments section, and let me know if you'll still be watching my channel, even if I'm gonna talk more about the anime cosplay sides of things. Thank you very much for sticking through with me through my channel and the ups and downs and everything. I really appreciate it. You guys can keep following my cosplays and other things that I'm doing at conventions on my Facebook page, facebook.com/KiraTheHedgehog. Thank you very much, and I appreciate all of you.